guys, it's Kristal Cherelle from Indie Artist School. Welcome to the Singer's Arsenal. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics of all time, and that's vocal breakthroughs. So there is something very special about finally getting that vocal run that you've been working so hard to get, or finally smoothing the bridges of your voice, or finally improving your vocal range. And this is something that I've helped many students do. Today, I want to talk about the main things that I notice happen before a vocal breakthrough so that you can know when you're very close to having a breakthrough and what to expect when you have the right vocal coach. So before I get too deep into it, if you're a subscriber to the podcast, thank you so much for supporting. If you want to subscribe to the podcast, go to anchor.fm/thesingersarsenal/support. And you could donate with a monthly subscription, a small payment, just to help support and keep this podcast going. If you are on YouTube, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so that you can get more vocal tips and show your support. I'd love to know what parts of the episode that you like the most, okay? All right, so let's get into it. So there are stages that you're gonna go through as you're learning, okay? So the first thing that happens when you get vocal coaching is you're like, who is this person? Okay, cynicism. So cynicism is the first step. It's that you think it's not going to work. Either you've tried it before and it didn't work then, and so you're not 100% sure that it's going to work now. So how do you break down that cynical voice in your head that tells you you're not going to be able to change? So some advice I can give you for breaking down cynicism is understanding that today is a brand new day. Cynicism is usually focused on the past, okay? It's how things used to go. It's how you've expected things to go. And sometimes it's just what you've heard from other people. Don't listen to the naysayers. What didn't work for them doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the same for you. There are a lot of different variables that might change the circumstances, like maybe they didn't have the right mindset. Maybe they didn't have the right coach. Maybe they weren't as serious about growing, and so they didn't see the results they wanted. So take all of that with a grain of salt if your cynicism is born of other people, okay? Now, if the cynicism is something that's going on and completely from yourself, it's just, just a little healthy guardedness, a little healthy barrier, that's fine, and it's completely natural and normal for you to do that. When you think about it, cynicism is a way for us to ground ourselves in reality so that our brain doesn't get too fanciful with a lot of ideas of, ooh, what if this and la 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 la. It's easy to think that it's just a pipe dream to grow your voice. But the thing is, once you realize that growing your voice is actually very technical and realistic, that wall of cynicism comes down, okay? So it's not all about, if you can think it, then you can do it. And I'm not saying there's any fault in thinking that way. In fact, I think it goes hand in hand. But there is a healthy level of doing that must happen. There's a healthy level of science to improving your voice, and that's what I'm here for. I've had a lot of experience, and so when I combine those two things together, I really understand the human voice. So you don't have to yet, okay? That's where you can rely on your coach to help guide you through what you're doing. So that wall of cynicism slowly starts coming down. Sometimes all it takes is just some time and evidence to break that wall of cynicism down, right? So if you don't have evidence and you don't see it working for other people, it can be very hard to think that it would ever work for you. The second thing is to know that it has worked for you already. So maybe prior to your first lesson, you've not had any experience with any vocal breakthroughs. So naturally, you're thinking that they don't happen for you. But the truth of the matter is, you've got to give it a shot, give it a chance. And once you see that first breakthrough happens in your first lesson, which it inevitably always does in my coaching sessions, it's one of my favorite parts, if I'm honest with you. I just love that part, that moment where you're like, wait, I thought that was just them. I didn't know I could do that too. When you feel that the effort and the focus and the instruction that you're taking is actually paying off for you, that wall of cynicism comes down. All right, so then once that happens, you run into the second stage of a vocal breakthrough. So the second stage is, I just did it. you get a little bit of enthusiasm and excitement to replicate your breakthrough. Now, once that happens, you're like, okay, I got it. Thank goodness, I finally solved my problem. But hold up, wait. If you're a student of mine and you've ever had a vocal breakthrough, then you already know what I'm about to say. You quickly realize that being able to get it right every time is the new challenge you get. So then you get a little bit discouraged, okay? So there's this weird twofold thing. It's the enthusiasm of knowing that you can do it, and then the frustration of struggling to do it that way every single time. So the best way to bridge the gap between that enthusiasm and the frustration of not getting it right every single time is meeting in the middle, which is having a healthy determination. What I mean by that is being willing to try again using the fuel of the enthusiasm that you did it before. And then having patience so that you can balance this whole I didn't get it right thing so that you don't get frustrated. Be patient with yourself, because frustration is usually really tightly related to impatience. So you're like, I got it right once, I should get it every single time right now. And then it goes, your brain is like, why can't I get it every single time? Instead of doing that, just breathe from your diaphragm, okay? Breathe from your diaphragm. If you gotta do a couple stretches to get all that tension and frustration out, do that. Take a beat and try again. And then if you mess up, I want you to keep going and try again. Now, the benefit of doing that, having that cycle of try again, pause, let it go, try again, is that it gives you the opportunity to learn from the mistakes. And when you get it right, it's also good that you really take note of all of the things you were doing correctly. Now, sometimes you may not know what it is. At first, it might feel a little bit like an accident, okay? The good thing about working with a coach is that they will help you. If they're really good at what they do, they will be able to help you understand what it is you're doing correctly on those happy little accidents.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
I love Bob Ross, okay? And in this case, if you stumble upon doing something right vocally, it's a happy little accident as well. So anyway, so let that sit in your brain a little bit. That second stage is that enthusiasm / frustration, and you bridge that gap by being patient with yourself and having a healthy determination to try it again, okay? All right, and then the third stage, ooh, I love the third stage. The third stage is when you can do it every single time. Or most of the time, okay? Because we're humans. We have off days. Our bodies, sometimes they're tired. Sometimes you forget. Sometimes you have an off day. But for the most part, you get it right and you know how to do that technique every single time. And that right there, that builds confidence, honey. And you know what? You've gone through the cycle of a vocal breakthrough once, and so you know you can do it again. So maybe your first vocal breakthrough is just making sure that your voice doesn't crack. And you've learned how to bridge the gap between all of your vocal registers through your vocal coach. And then you've gone through all three of those stages. Then you get a chance to start all over again. And guess what? When you start all over again, you get to skip the first step. You get to skip cynicism. Why? Because it's proven. You've done it once, so you know you can do it again. And then it kind of speeds up, it definitely speeds up your vocal breakthrough process. Once you have one vocal breakthrough, the rest surely follow a lot faster. So I want you to be patient with yourself. I want you to know that those vocal goals that you have are possible. Let that sink in. Those vocal goals that you have are possible. Now, it's going to take some breaking of some barriers, right? It's going to take letting go of that cynicism. It's going to take some enthusiasm. It's going to take a little bit of frustration along the way. It's going to happen. And so therefore, it's going to take patience to bridge that gap. And guess what? It's going to take your healthy determination to help make sure that you get it right every single time. So those are the three main stages of a vocal breakthrough. Are you ready for a vocal breakthrough? If you are, go ahead and visit my website. indieartistschool.com, and I can give you vocal coaching one-on-one on Zoom. I also have an online course called the Indie Artist Toolkit, where I teach you the beginnings of how to sing. So yeah, just check it out. Again, be patient with yourself. Understand that there is nothing wrong with you. If you have a lot of cynicism right now, it's natural. It's natural. If somebody else told you it's not gonna work, that's common. It's very hard to have faith in the things you don't see. And if you're a spiritual person, then you already know that the whole definition of faith is trying it anyway, is following the path even if it is unseen. But even if you have zero faith, zero faith in yourself, zero faith in the process, even if you're starting there, you have to understand that you have just a little bit if you're here right now. You wouldn't have watched this video all the way through if you didn't think there was any possibility that your voice can grow. So just from doing that, you've already taken the first step in dropping your first wall of cynicism. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to hearing you guys' comments. I want to know what stage you're on in your vocal breakthrough. Let me know in the comments. And also, if you're listening to the podcast, write a review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts so we can know a little bit about your vocal journey. Well, you guys, until next time, have a wonderful day.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's the Singer's Eye.